Hello all, welcome to www.bispsolutions.com. So yesterday we have seen how a data form is created, and I have shown you the case scenario of quarterly sales variance we have calculated. So today let's walk through another case scenario, and we will be using here the drivers in the planning module, and we'll design another data form today where we will be doing sales forecasting using historical data and different forecasting methods. So here you can see it's a simple case where we forecast sales based on historical trends and growth rates. So let's suppose we are taking example of a retail business, okay, and here you can see we are taking the actual sale figures for January, February and March. And how these sales figures are derived, you can see number of units sold. Okay, so this is the actual figure of the number of units sold in the month of January. This is 200 units sold, and this is the average selling price. So let's suppose the average selling price is 30. So for the month of January, we get the sales, that is revenue we get of 6,000 USD. So this is actually number of units sold multiplied with the average selling price. This is a normal calculation which we do in the day-to-day life. Let me check the application. I wanted to show this in the application, but right now okay, so I think I have to restore the backup. So okay, now moving on to this example. Next, here is the actual data for February, where the units sold is 250, average selling price is 32. So we get the sale accordingly, we multiply units and the average selling price, we get the sales figure. Then the actual data for March, we have units actual, this is the actual unit sold, this 400 units sold, and the average selling price is 35. So here revenue comes out to be 14,000. Now actually this is what we are forecasting for the month of April. We have actual data for 3 months, we have done the sales, and now we want to forecast it on the basis of these last 3 months sales. We want to forecast sales for April. Here we are going to use these drivers, and actually this application is not working right now. I have to restore the backup. So I had created all these drivers in the application, the units, the ASP, and here sales also, and then we have used the data form where I would have calculated forecast. So this basis of calculating the forecast, we are getting this forecast. How we are getting how we are forecasting the sale for April month? This is the moving average method. where we calculate the average of the last few months sales to predict the next month sale. So here we will use the last 3 months, which is January, February, March. We add them and we find their average. This is the moving average. So this we have done for the units. Similarly, average selling price also we have derived through this, and sales also we have predicted the total sales. So based on this moving average, the forecasted sales for April is $9,333. There are various other methods to do the forecasting. This is actually moving average method, where we just calculate the average of last few months. Okay, we can also use a growth rate method. So here what happens is that we calculate the monthly growth rate and apply it to the latest month sales. So for example, here we will use February and March sales, these two sales. Okay, so we have to first find the growth rate. What is the growth rate? So the growth rate is calculated as the difference between the latest month sales. So this is 14,000 minus 8,000. So this is the difference, and now this will be divided with the last month that we are using. So this 6,000 will be divided by 8,000. So here you can see this is the growth rate. This is 0.75. Now on the basis of this growth rate, we'll do the forecast. So the last month sales, which is, you can see here this is the 14,000. So this 14,000, this is multiplied with the growth rate. So this is the forecast for the next month. So this is growth rate method. So all these methods for forecasting, that depends on the type of business we are doing or type of planning we are doing. There is also one seasonal index method, and this is basically used when the business experiences seasonal fluctuations. So choosing a forecasting method, this is like it varies from one situations to another, and it basically depends on the planning module that you are working on. Like moving average, this is this what we have calculated, this forecast sales, this is on moving average method, and this is best when sales are relatively stable without any seasonal variations. And this further when where we have calculated the growth rate. So this is useful when the business is growing, it is growing consistently month to month. So there we can like have a fixed one growth rate when we know that. And as I just said, seasonal index, that is another method, and then this is effective when there is a fluctuations in the sales pattern depending on the seasons or the events. Okay, so I had already created one application and created all the metadata to explain you, and I had already created a data form where we could have done the validation rules, which was our today's topic. We have already done how to create a data form yesterday, so I had already created one. Okay, well, I'll migrate, but then this will be very time consuming right now. I'll migrate the snapshots, but then okay, this is in progress. Now how does this helps is like we have the actual or the historical data, and we use various drivers here, units and average selling price. We have used it to calculate the sales and to get to our forecast figure. Okay, so we can focus on various strategic actions that target the key drivers influencing the forecast. Here, if after the forecast, when in the month, this we are doing at the end of March, we are planning in the middle of the, or maybe in the end of March, we are planning for the month of April. This is what happens in every firm, that sales is forecasted for coming months on the basis of this historical data. So when we have done the forecasting and the actual happens in April, now at the end of the month, when we get the actual figures, let's suppose the sale was, the number of units sold was 270, and average selling price was 32 only. So when we multiply number of units sold with the average selling price, and this is the actual in the month of April. Okay, now this is I'm assuming on the basis of forecast. Okay, this is the actual, and I have got the actual figure for the month of April, and we have done the forecast already. This was the moving average basis. So now shall we calculate the variance? This is the difference between the planned and the actual. So although the average selling price is same, but the number of units sold is less. So you can see there is variance of 693 USD dollars. So this way we can use the approaches to improve sales figures. Like we can enhance, the company can focus on enhancing the growth rate by increasing customer acquisition. Okay, I have done the migration, but there were some errors. So I'll continue explaining this. I just wanted you to show the how a validation rule I would have applied on this variance. So let me explain you in this Excel, this spreadsheet right now, and then I will definitely explain this on the instance tomorrow. Yeah, so I was saying that we have calculated forecast on the basis of the drivers that we have created in the application. Now once in April we get the actual sales figure, here the variances, you can see the variance. So on the basis of this variance, in the data form itself, I would have created a validation rule. So whereby if like there we give a condition, like if the sales, you can see this, so we were expecting this figure to be negative, because what's happening right now is, you can see the forecast figure is more than the actual. What we are expecting that in the month of April the sale would have been 283 units, but actually it happened to be 270 units, which is less. Okay, had it been let's suppose 290, then here the variance is negative. So our condition here for the validation rule in the data form, I would have given that if the the variance, if this variance is greater than 0, then we would have highlighted the cell with the red color. Okay, if it is less than 0, then we would have highlighted this cell with the green color. So that way in the data form we would have just, by seeing the form, we would have understood that that the actual figures are more than the forecast, and the sale growth is satisfactory. So that's it for today, and I'm sorry for this application here, because I have to migrate all the metadata, which would have taken the time and created the data form completely. So okay, that's it for today. Thank you.